So I'm going to call the February meeting of the Historic Preservation Commission to order. And welcome to all of you in our audience. And the agendas are outside or maybe right there on the table. And I would encourage you to read the statement at the bottom, which explains who we are and what we're about, and we're glad to have you here. The first item on the agenda is the consent agenda. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the motion carries. The first item of new business is the request of Christopher Hackman to replace windows at 501 Luckadoo Place. And are you Mr. Hackman?
Yeah.
If you would come forward where there's the microphone and tell us your name, address, and explain to us what it is that you want to do.
Certainly. Is this loud enough here?
Yeah.
All right. Yes, my name is Christopher Hackman. I live at 501 Luckadoo Place, the same address that is being requested here. I've lived there for about 2 years now and am presently in the middle of some work to address some fairly serious rot and termite issues that have been in the house for some time now. And I previously got a COA for just paint and siding, but the work that I'm doing is large enough. I'm trying to tackle a number of things in one go. And among those things is the replacement of the existing windows. I'd like to put new windows into the house. And what I've tried to go with just sort of a brief little minimalist number of photos here, but to just demonstrate that the windows that are in there right now appear to date from a renovation that was undertaken in the 90s. They do not seem to be the original windows, so there are two photographs that were in this slide deck here, which, yes, this one here and this one here. These both are the condition of the house prior to that restoration. And in those, you see a number of different things which can tell you that these are not the same windows that exist presently in the house. First thing being that the windows on the ground floor have a different number of panes in them. I believe these are 9/9 in these photos. The existing ones are 6/6. Number of the windows are open. The windows as they are presently installed cannot open. They do not have any track or anything like that. They're just nailed into the frame. Yeah, it's unfortunate. A lot of cases, just due to some of the shift in the house, there's actually gaps between the upper and lower sash, which I've plugged up with caulk for right now. But the point is that they're not really actually real opening windows that are in there right now. And then the final thing from those previous photos was just that in these you can see, I think more in that preview, that last photo, you can actually see there's like one or two panes that are actually remaining, but pretty much all the rest of the panes have been knocked out. So basically from those three factors, I'm fairly certain that none of the windows that are in the house right now are the original windows, or at least the windows from prior to the restoration. So yeah, on those grounds, hoping to go ahead and get some new windows in there which can open, which are more efficient. My intent with that is to still maintain pretty much everything of the same appearance, with the exception of that I would like to go back to either 9/9 or potentially 6/9, because I've also seen that in some other historic structures and like the look of that. But either of those would be what I'm requesting. And as far as the material of the windows, I'm putting in a request for either fiberglass or wood. My intent is to stick with a wood appearance regardless. I do very much like the way it looks as it is. I don't want to change that. The product sheet that you see here, that's just the first one that I've gotten. I'm not certain exactly on the brand yet. That is something I'm still sort of locking down at this moment. Oh, and there is one other item I think that I have on the request, and that is for the sills on the windows, which I consider sort of a separate item. And there's a picture in there somewhere that shows you the condition of one of them. Not that one, not even that one. I think, yeah, this one here. Yeah, so what they all seem to be is they all have right now a piece of sheet metal that's covered over. And I haven't taken it off of all of them, but this is just one of them. That gap right there actually had a nice big wad of concrete in it to fill that. And the rest of it is rotted. And so the other window, the one in the immediately prior photo, is also quite soft to it. And rotten. So I think that's probably the case for a lot of those sills. So I'm just looking to also get approval to replace those as necessary with something that looks identical to that made out of wood.
There are questions or comments?
It's not that pertinent, but I'll ask anyway. What year was the house built?
1816.
Yeah, it was old, really old. Okay. Any bell? Just barely.
No questions?
Oh, I just have a question. Is the transom window above the door original, or is that a replacement too?
Here's to be a replacement.
Yeah, I couldn't tell because the older photos, it's like a little bit blurry, so I couldn't tell if it was in
Yeah,
there
I'm
or
not certain, but it does appear to be kind of, I don't know, built into it in what they were doing in the 90s. So I think that is replaced in the 90s as well, but I don't know that with certainty if it comes from prior. The request here is just for the regular windows, exactly.
There are no questions. Do I hear a motion?
Color, are you painting them white, or do they come white?
Yeah, so the trim, I would want them to be the same as the trim, which will be, white, sort of off-white, cream color, yeah. The previous COA that I got was for replacing rotten siding as necessary, and also for painting the house in an ochre yellow color. So the trim's going to be a just sort of the same color it is now, actually, is probably what it's going to be. So just sort of like I said, a cream.
The windows that you choose to replace these, which are not original. You said you're looking at wood. Is it true divided lights, or are they sort of the snap-in kind of things?
In that, I'm looking at not one of these ones that has the built-in grid, but yeah, probably. I don't know, either or. The first ones that I got quotes on it was actually aluminum windows where they were taking the aluminum off to get to the wood. So I don't know, that's what I'm going to do. But I think that those were the snap-on exterior grill pattern in that case.
Snap-ons don't comply with the
Okay.
guidelines.
All right.
And neither does vinyl windows. They would need to be wood. You can, I believe the guidelines say you can have aluminum clad wood.
Oh, that does work. Okay.
Aluminum on the outside can be clad
All right.
in the guidelines, and I mean, you can get those in a number of colors.
Do the guidelines speak to fiberglass? I don't recall off the top of my head. I believe.
I don't
At
think
the head.
we have approved fiberglass in the past.
That's a newer
PVC.
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
that's happened. The fiberglass has, but the vinyls definitely are not.
Yes, so vinyl right out. The request I think that I put in was for, as written, was for fiberglass or for wood. If aluminum's acceptable, I'd like that just as an option. But yeah, as I
It's not a
stated,
full aluminum window. It is a wood window. but
Correct.
The exterior is clad with vinyl.
Yes.
I mean, with aluminum.
Yeah, but
Mixed words.
But as far as the divided lights, you can't do the snap-ons, nor can you do
Right.
the interior. So once they get the appearance, they really have to.
True divided light.
True divided lights, so.
all right, yeah, certainly.
And the sills you think would be wood
Yes,
to replicate?
yeah.
You taking this one? I didn't want to step in.
Oh, no, yeah, I'll be glad to. Yeah, I'd move to approve with true divided light, could be wood or aluminum clad wood, the 6/6 on the upper floor and 9/9 on the lower floor, including the wood sash replacement in kind. Does that cover everything?
Yeah,
One question, you said 6/6.
6/6 on the upper floor, 9/9 on the
Okay.
lower floor.
He has, I think, 6/9, or am I reading that wrong?
It's, yeah, I put in a request both for, so yes, 6/6 on the top floor, and then on the lower floor, either 9/9 or 6/9, just because I didn't know if those were the original windows on it.
Yeah.
Okay, so 9/9. Both, yeah, both are fine with me, so 9/9 is,
Yeah.
Are we going to go through with replacing them as it once was before the
Yeah.
unfortunate renovation of the 90s? It would be good to see, as you described, the 6/6 and 9/, above and 9/9 at the bottom,
Yeah.
so.
gladly, yep.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. You will
All right,
hear
thank you,
from
folks.
Eve and can get going.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Dan. The next action item is the request of Justine and Chris Button to demolish a shed at 24/7 Rivermont Avenue. Mr. Button?
Yeah.
All righty.
My wife is in better parts. She's in Key West. So, anyway, on that note. Yeah, we bought the house in, I believe, 2019 with the structure behind the house. There it is. That was in that condition when we got it. You can tell somebody did some 4x4 work on the inside. It's not safe and not feasible to repair it as far as my wife can tell on this, and she's actually the expert on it. So we're asking to tear it down. I do think it's not that there's any little kids or anything, but it become a safety hazard. So we want to remove that from the property.
And Eve, you said it's non-contributing.
So it's
Ah.
listed on the nomination form, but then it's not listed on the survey form or the VCRIS, which is their DHR's database. So it's listed in one place, but not in any of the others. So confusing.
And you can't see it from the street?
No, it's if you know where the Magnolia parking lot is on Rivermont, it's along that fence. So it's behind a privacy fence. You can see the fence leads up to it.
Right next to the parking lot?
Yeah, right next to the parking lot.
College.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we bought it from Randolph College in 2019.
So any questions? Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve as submitted.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, Mr. Button, you're
Was,
good to go.
She set me up for a lot more than that. So. That's good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck.
All right, the last item is the request of James Jean-Louis Jeune to do existing work at 1014 Jackson Street.
Well, he did not let me know that he would be coming, so. If you want to take a look at what he's supplied and what we've put together, and then either take action or table it and see if he's available for the next meeting, that is up to the commission.
Okay, what is,
At least walk through it. We did
Okay.
talk about this back in May, right?
Yes, so the applicant previously received approval to do, a bunch of work on the property, and then proceeded to start that work. Some of the work that was done was not in line with what was approved, so that's part of this application, and then the other part of the application is for new work, so. So previously, he received approval to replace the porch roofs with metal. This was the image that he provided. but he has since replaced it with this metal, as you can see. So he's looking for after the fact approval for that change. Windows, he previously received approval for arched windows to match what was there. So that was the start of the project. Then he installed these windows, which I think they're actually 2 pieces. He has since taken those out because they did not align with the approval. So this was the original, and since then he has removed some window openings and changed the shape of others. This is the rear. It is difficult to tell what was underneath the ivy, but I suspect that windows have been added. And again, these rectangular windows were not approved. This is the side. As you can see, windows have been added, and these rectangular windows were installed without approval, so he's looking to get approval to keep those in there. That's a different angle. So that is the front of the house currently and the side currently. So he's taken those arched windows out. But he did not submit, well, he submitted this. But it wasn't very clear to me what he was applying for. The front door, he reframed that. He took the original door out, and he had changed the shape. So we asked him to go back to what was originally there. You can see the shape has been changed. It's not exactly what was there before. The arch looks more dramatic than what it was. Yep, there you can see on the right. And then the left is what it is now. Those are the original doors. I think he is applying to replace them. And then he wanted to apply for lighting. He did not indicate where this lighting would go. And I think that's everything. Yeah.
When we last spoke about this, did we approve that he could replace the siding since so much of it was rotted or missing?
Yes.
Yeah.
He did get approval to replace the siding. He has not. I think he's waiting to do the windows before he does the siding.
Very clearly, though, it's an abomination of what's been done to the windows and the door. An
Yes.
absolute. And everything was there, and it should be restored to what it was. I'm hoping those parts aren't in a landfill somewhere, but if they aren't, they can be replicated. It's,
Well, it is a sister house as well, so the house next door is mostly, mostly intact. So,
so, yeah, and the 10 is, that 5B10 is, that's a farm shed.
Yeah.
That's not appropriate.
yeah.
So the hot pass is what it is, you know.
So it sounds like there's nothing in this application that can be approved at this moment. So I don't know if you want to table it and see if he's available to come to the next meeting to have a discussion, or if the commission just wants to, deny it. But
My personal thought is that we should table it, because if he goes to council, we need to say that we heard from him in person. That's just, I'm not going to change my mind. I've been up there to look at it, but I just feel like, should he appeal our decision to council, that it's better if we heard
At this
eyeball
point-
to eyeball.
At this point, has he been told not to do any more?
yeah, we've had several conversations with him.
Okay.
Does it impact that he wasn't present?
I don't know, but I think it might, that he could say, well, I didn't have a chance to explain. And I don't know that, but that's just my personal opinion, and I am one of 6 today, one of 7.
I think it might be good for him to hear from the commission, and, you know, he might need that guidance on what the appropriate direction to go is. Even though staff has had several conversations with him, I think it might be good to table it and give him the opportunity to come back in front of the commission.
And especially since he didn't do what he said he would do, you know, that, so,
Good to be able to hear the whys,
yeah,
the answer to why.
yeah.
Okay.
I totally agree. I just have a question about, for the items that he's requesting to redo what he did that's out of compliance with what we approved, are we able to approve anything since it's already been, are we able to approve anything different from what we've already approved?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so if they change, you know, if they apply for something and get approval, but then they change their mind and want to do something different, and they come back before you, you can approve that. So yeah, that would not be a problem if you wanted to change your approval. Yeah.
Peter, we're talking about the 3rd action item, and the applicant petitioner is not here. And there's a question of should we vote on it today, yay or nay, or table it and have him come next month if he comes. If he doesn't come, then we know what we'll do. So,
Thank you.
I mean, at a certain point, since he did not contact you, he made a choice not to be here. This does mean he cannot work on it for yet another month, one way or the other. But I agree with you, Sean, that having him here would be very hopeful to hear from us. And so it does mean for another month it sits still, though.
Yeah.
And that's enforced by the city. That.
Yes. The other thing we can do, if you do want to table it, is if there's anything you want to pass along to him and give him the chance to revise before he comes back next month, that is something I can communicate to him as well. So I don't know if there's anything that's outstanding right now that you would say, yeah, definitely make revisions to this, but we could do that too.
If he hasn't thrown away the doors and the windows, do not throw away the doors and the windows.
I think the doors are still there. I think the windows are gone. I did not see them on the property.
They will be long-term replicated.
Yeah.
What's been done is
the damage is
horrendous.
done. So is there a motion
Motion to
to
table
table
till next month.
or to deny or to approve?
I'll make a motion to table till next
Okay.
month.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Does anybody have any guidance for him?
I would definitely encourage a little bit more detail for the COA. As far as, I mean, the exterior lighting, there's no indication of, like you said, where he wants to put it, or if there's something being replaced, or if he's just installing new lighting. You know, and that replace from, yeah.
He doesn't say where.
Yeah, I think overall we just need a little bit more detail in the COA for what he wants to do.
We're almost there.
Tell him to revisit his original COA.
Yeah.
Remember, part of the rules are about don't be too colonial Williamsburgy.
Yeah, none of those are.
None of those really, I think, are going to work either, given the style of the house and the age of the house. So I would say to him to not invest in these lights until he has a conversation with the city and with us. So.
Any other thoughts?
Are there suggestions of examples he could look at as substitutes?
probably in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be a very good idea to look at some, if there, particularly if there's a sister house right there.
Yeah, study
and-
his neighbor.
Yeah, that might help.
Does that help, Eve?
Yes.
Is that,
Mhm.
okay. Is there any other business?
I can say that I watched the Substitute Materials for Historic Buildings webinar, and that's very
I did
good.
too.
Yeah, so they're doing
Yeah,
another
how
one
many of
April
you went?
25th.
I need to know.
I-
I had to
One,
watch the
two.
recording.
Yes, so absolutely. So I watched it last
So
week.
there's going to be one on March 21st at 1 o'clock and April 25th at 2. My session took about 1.5 hours with
Yep.
the Q&A,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but it really was very well done, so.
Mhm.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I went to the first one, the one that a lot of people had a problem.
Yeah.
10 minutes in or something.
Yeah.
On the first one.
Mm-hmm.
But you went to the second
Yep.
one, yeah.
Yeah, I think they fixed it, right? They switched
Yeah.
platforms. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
definitely switched them out.
Yeah, so. Any other business? We'll be back in March then. Okay, thank you all.